Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Chojin X Chapter 25. When we last left our heroes, Asuma was not doing too well. He was kind of spiraling in the aftermath of the whole incident at the dam, of him losing control and killing everyone. They got better, but he did kill them for a bit. And, you know, it all tied into his larger sort of insecurities around Tokyo and how he feels like Tokyo's always sort of held himself back to, like, bolster Asuma, and the sort of mocking that feels to him. That sort of came to a head during his fight with Tokyo, but also comes to a head at the beach when he sees some vultures pecking away at the same hyena that he led to the beach, that is dead, and he kind of snaps and scares them all away, has a bit of a mental breakdown, and then the No Mask approaches him. We don't see what happens of that. We get this kind of overwrought monologue explaining the title, that Chojin X is like a powerful Chojin that appears in every generation, and that's appeared now. Maybe it's Asuma, maybe it's Tokyo, we don't know, it's not that important to me right now. But yeah, with that said, let's dive right on into Chapter 25. And we open with a flashback. At the outskirts of Gaga, there were once a man and wife. Their only daughter, born to that destitute land, became enamored with the city she read about in her books. She begged for fine confections and luxurious garments. Once she realized her own parents would not be able to grant her desires, she left home at the age of 16. Then, in order to become affluent with the utmost expedience, she chose to become a thief. She led a band of currish thieves, over 300 strong, and would stop at nothing, even murder, to obtain her spoils. How long ago was this? Because, like, who had, you know, because we know the series is set around 98 or so. Who had bands of thieves in the 20th century? Like, that feels sort of Edo period style, but, like, maybe it is centuries ago. I don't know. Like, it's clearly tied to Ellie, given, like, the farm life, the Gaga, and I'm not quite sure who this is in relation to Ellie, but anyway. Her infamy spread throughout Gaga. It's like the mountain of skulls she's left behind. Their own daughter's familiar name came to pain her parents, but life went on. Then one day, their very own daughter returned to them, and we see the thief returning to her parents, and in her arms she bore an infant. Their daughter was clearly ill. I am dying. I want you to care for her. Raise her so she won't become like me. Oh, I think this is Ellie's mom. Which would make this like 81. Because Ellie, I just reminded myself, was born in 81. So like, it's a little late. I mean, I don't know, maybe Gaga is just like that. I don't know. And then she collapses right there. Then, after apologizing for her wantonness and wrongdoings, their daughter breathed no more. And we cut to sometime in the future as Ellie is kneeling beside a grave. The couple raise their granddaughter, showering her with love. And she, knowing of her mother's path, thought to herself, I will never become a bad person. Instead of becoming a taker, she would become a giver. But as they say, blood is thicker than water. At times, the fear that the blood of a villain that was running through her veins would rear its head and whisper to her. And we see an image of a plane, maybe tying into that first appearance of her. Those who take will also lose. And we get this full-page image of Ellie, like, lying in bed, hand raised. Someday, you will come to do as she did. So, okay. I want to talk about this in regards to the conversation Chojin has been having for a year and some change now, about black and white morality. And determinism, and, like, this is adding a deterministic element to that exploration of black and white morality, because I don't think the narrative is going to say that, like, Ellie is in any way predestined for evil because of her mother, because, like, I don't know, Ellie's current mindset is so wrapped up in Yamato Mori, and the narrative is so clearly critical of Yamato Mori, that I think Ellie's gonna have to, like, get this sort of view of herself knocked out of her. But also, like, it's easy to see why someone like Ellie, who we now see has this fear of becoming a thief and a murderer like her mother, would latch on so hard, much harder than Tokyo, to the kind of, you know, just do these things and you will be good mindset of Yamato Mori. because that's kind of what she needs. You know, she needs someone to tell her that or in her own mind, she needs the proof that she's a good person. And Sandek, for all my issues with his philosophy, provides that proof. If you believe in him. Anyway, someday you'll come to do as she did. And she lowers her hand and lies in bed as the alarm rings. It's still pitch black outside. Wonder how Grandpappy's doing. And then we cut to the plane from the first chapter. And this little, like, stuffed toy that might have been hers in that initial scene. And then we see smoke rising from it. Which we haven't seen... No, we have seen Chandra since the crash. Yeah, there was the whole chase thing. I don't know why we're focusing on the smoke from the plane... unless this is a different plane, that Chandra's caused another wreck or something. Oh, but maybe. Because the issue of heritage leading to evil can affect Ellie in two ways. Because she has this, evil mom, and her powers came from Chandra. And we have that focus on the black smoke. Maybe Chandra did take down another plane, and there's going to be questions as to whether or not Ellie was involved? I don't know. Anyway, Chapter 25, Vision. Our cover here is Tokyo standing amidst, like, two skyscrapers, one destroyed, one intact. And we get to Tokyo, who looks around. Huh? And we see he's surrounded by, like, rubble. Is this Yamato? And he sees someone in front of him. And it's something like Azuma's Chojin form, but I don't think not quite, because I see that panel on the left. And we see a bunch of missiles headed towards the ground. Tokyo. And Azuma turns to him, but now his cloth is covered in eyes. This is your fault. And Tokyo just wakes up. Azuma! And he just, like, jolts to a start. He fell asleep in class. He's, I guess, back in class. When the last chapter left off, we saw him wake up, but I guess some time has passed. He's back in school, away from Yamato Mori again. And he just looks around. What is it? And Azuma's right there, looking at him, like, sweating bullets, like, what the fuck, man? What's with you? And the teacher tells him, Kurahara, why, you little... I didn't know you like Higashi that much. No, he just made a little cameo in my dream. Wait, that's not what... He's just, like, digging himself deeper. No, and then we see, words. Billboard. Not a billboard. Bulletin board. There it is. Class 3B, the following students require makeup tests. Modern Japanese, Eliota. Math, Eliota. Physics, Eliota and Takeru Monda. Chemistry, Eliota and Takeru Monda. Social science, Elionda. But she's in class 3B. I thought they were both second years. Is Ellie actually, like, a year ahead of Tokyo? Because I know they're, like, we have their ages on the wiki, and we see, like, their IDs occasionally. And Ellie is, like, I think July of 81, and Tokyo is January of 82. So she might actually be a grade ahead of him. Which is wild to me, but okay. Summer break starts tomorrow. Yay! And these two girls talking behind Ellie. What should we do? Go to the pool, Obs. Also watch fireworks. And then we can... and we cut to Ellie and Tokyo on the roof as Ellie is just panicking over just the sheer number of makeup tests she has to do. As Tokyo questions, you okay? Takeru Monda. And Tokyo has no context for that. Takeru Monda? And we have this image of Takeru Monda all of a sudden, the only other person needing makeup tests. Tokyo, help me study. I have makeup tests. I'm on thin ice. Tokyo just like acknowledges her. Makeups, huh? I'm at the bottom of my class, but maybe I can lend a hand. Just a weak little thumbs up. That ain't reassuring. And then Azuma. There's this kind of ominousness to Azuma, both because of the dream and also everything going on with him, the way he's framed here, as he just enters behind them. I like the way this panel is drawn. Like the building, yet there's the door of where Azuma came from, but the rest of it is all white. Like it's all been blotted out. Like he just sort of appeared from the ether. Can I help you with studying? And, Ellie, like, jumps out of her skin. Azuma! Azuma reads Ellie is still a little panicked after the whole incident. when he like murdered her for a little bit. I'm not here to attack you. And Ellie sort of like slowly, acknowledges that she went on the attack. And Azuma tells her, I wanted to apologize for earlier. I want to be friends, if we can, Oda. What do you say? And Tokyo, builds up Azuma's credentials here. Azuma's grades just so happen to be the best in our year. And then Ellie tells Azuma, that day, I should have stopped you from going, but I couldn't, even though I saw you. So I owe you an apology too. And Azuma sort of acknowledges like the frankness of her admission there. I don't regret going, and you weren't in the wrong either, Oda. And he extends his hand to her. I'm sorry. And they stare each other down as Tokyo like looks between them, and Ellie returns, sorry. So help me study, would ya? And Tokyo chimes in, oh, me too. But Azuma just tells him, but you didn't fail anything, Tokyo. And then we cut to this, like, church building, and my husband is back, my man, Ricardo Terror, the king, the absolute goat. So then that little cloth bugger came flying in, and I didn't manage a full raise in time. So I snuck away, dragging my body, and grabbed Ume. Then after that, Ume was already out of commission. Didn't seem like we could keep going. And he's having a bit of a mission review with the No Mask. And as a reminder, the No Mask did approach Azuma. We don't quite know what he did with Azuma, but he did definitively approach Azuma. So, more reasons to be suspicious of Azuma here, as he's definitely, for one thing, has not recovered from that breakdown last chapter, and he's had some contact with the big bad. But No Mask asks Ricardo, and this cloth bugger, as you called him, he was in a flat state? Dunno. He just awakened, but even then he seemed strong. Maybe a touch of chaos. And No Mask, as if he hasn't talked to Azuma, goes on, I do wonder what abilities he has. How was the beastification? Didn't look like any beast to me. The other one looked like he was, though. And then Ume, who was lying in bed behind Ricardo, just comments, shackles. He wore shackles. And No Mask questions, shackles? And she creates, like, fake paper shackles, like this. He might be a creator Shojin, like me. And it seems like, so the word pharmacist is used, as if that's how Ume is referring to No Mask? Is No Mask also a pharmacist? Like, is that a name for him? I don't think you've seen that before. But it's definitely, like, a possibility. I don't know. I mean, No Mask is a nickname, so maybe pharmacist is the actual title. Pharmacist. You can have a discount. Just let us have a revenge. And Ricardo comments, oh, in a fighting mood for once, Ume? But No Mask tells her, yes, by all means. However, and it looks like he's about to lift his mask, but then he doesn't. Your health comes first. We shall reconvene once you have recuperated. We leave them there for now, it seems. Just a reminder that my boy is back. We will have terror time again. But we cut to an outside. The No Mask is, reflecting on what Ume and Ricardo told him. Which again, I'm not sure what he was doing with Azuma at the beach. Shackles and a cape. Far from beast-like, but interesting nonetheless. Those two are incapacitated at present. So he's very interested in beastness, right? Like, he talks that, how was the beastification, when Ricardo was like, that wasn't a beastification. And he seems concerned about that. Far from beast-like, but interesting nonetheless, as if not being beast-like runs counter to being interesting? I don't know. That's an interesting thing to me. And then he picks up the phone, and we see, he hesitates for a moment, we see someone cooking a steak, picks up the phone, and it's Chandra, who's just sort of chilling. And Chandra, picks up the phone. Who is it? Mr. Chandra, I'm much obliged. This is the pharmacist. So that is his actual title, the pharmacist. Okay. Where did you get my card code? No. I have many friends. But Chandra just gets mad at him. I'm in the middle of sampling a fillet of golden beef in a fine 1990 red. I do not appreciate being disturbed while dining. I'm hanging up. I see. Yet here, as Chandra picks up the line, Pharmacist goes on. Yet here I was, hoping to invite you to a beast hunt. In that case, and just saying that, for some reason, the concept of a beast Chojin, it's very definitive beast over and over again here. Chandra just throws his food away. Wait! Tell me, and like we cut to like the steak and the wine spilling on the ground. Tell me the details. And then we cut to Tokyo and Azuma on their way home, which again, everything with Azuma is a little suspicious, even if it's starting to feel like the Pharmacist didn't actually reach out to Azuma there, just sort of, observe him. But Tokyo tells Azuma, I'm so relieved that you and Ellie started talking. But wow, we've got 3 Chojin at school. Trying to wrap my head around that again is kind of amazing. But Azuma stops there. Tokyo, Mr. Sandak told me that I lack control over my powers. And we get, it's really, he's really dragging this out, very uncomfortable. We have, the constant cuts throughout this sentence to Tokyo looking kind of inquisitive and Azuma forlorn about it. So it'd be better not to use them, right? Okay, that's, let's see where that goes. I'm scared. What if the same thing happens again? I don't want anyone around me to get hurt because of me. But even you were last time. Listen, Tokyo. Oh, and Asuma tells him. For a second I thought this was all of a sudden Tokyo talking. I had a dream. Yamato lay in ruins all around me. And we see the same sort of image from a different angle that Tokyo had in his dream. What? When I turned around, you were there. And it's not the sort of it's not a twist on Tokyo's Chojin form like it was with Azuma. It's just his basic, vulture mask. But even then, this is enough to paralyze Tokyo with fear. And you told me, this is your fault. And then I got... But he can't say it. Say, if I did do something bad, would you be able to kill me? Which, I don't know, I'm curious about that line there. Because good and bad are just it seems like the kind of like a way of describing the black and white morality this entire series seems primed to examine. That concept, if I did something bad, would you be able to kill me, is a very black and white approach. And Tokyo is sort of our symbol of, not quite acquiescing to the black and white worldview of Sandak. Even if at this point he's in no way confident enough in himself to really stand up to it, he still is inherently opposed. As he does react, what? No way! You're scaring me! What are you saying? And Tokyo is stunned there. And Azuma's stunned at Tokyo's refusal to kill him if he's bad. Because again, Tokyo does not really vibe with black and white morals, even if he's not quite able to express that yet. And we have this shot as Tokyo starts to speak. Azuma, of Ricardo walking up to a kid whose balloon is just started to fly away, because Ricardo has good dad vibes. Watch him kill the kid, right as I say that. I'm going to become stronger. So if anything does happen, I'll be able to stop you. And we see the balloon fly away. You should become a keeper, like me, at Yamato. And Ricardo, it's an interesting thing there. The shot of Ricardo and the boy and the balloon, it does show us that Ricardo is currently right below Yamato. Or not Yamato, right below Tokyo. But it's I'm not quite sure, the balloon feels symbolic in some way. Flying up as a positive, down as a negative, heaven, hell imagery. I'm freewheeling here. I'm free associating here. Simultaneously, it has the image of being up, but the balloon letting go is a sign of a loss of control? Question mark? Thoughts? I don't know. I'm freewheeling here. It's Chojin. I'm always hyper-examining this shit. You do actually want to use your powers, right? You'd be able to control them for sure. Though, again, whether or not being a keeper is a good thing is a whole debate. The whole debate from several chapters ago. The not everyone is cut out to be a keeper placed over Tokyo. So whether or not, this might be much like how Ellie needs the sort of black and white morality of Yamato to tell herself she's not going to become a monster like her mother or like Chandra, Tokyo might need Yamato Mori at first to become, to gain the self-confidence he needs to control himself. Maybe. I don't know. Not even like self-confidence, but confidence in others, like the Gurren Lagann line. You'd be able to control them for sure. You were, and this is Tokyo's thoughts, dazzling. So much that I was pitiable in comparison. But these feelings, I don't need them. I want to become a hero with you. And Azuma then, teases him. Well, I plan on really powering up. Think you can keep up? Come on, I got the same plan in mind. I'm going to become way, way stronger. To be continued. Okay, so I'm not sure this is healthy for Azuma. I feel like this is going to come back to bite him in some way. The whole, this feels a little repressing to me. He's aware that, he has this sort of inferiority complex around Azuma. I spent a lot of time in the past month thinking about how both of them are, heavily tied to scavenger animal metaphors. Tokyo with his vulture and Azuma with his hyena. And Azuma's is, instead of addressing the feelings that lead to those metaphors, he's just sort of stomping down on them till they go away. And they won't go away. They will blow up at some point. That will somehow factor in. Especially if the pharmacist has his eye on him. Especially if those dreams, I don't know, maybe those dreams are signs that there are both potential Chojin X's? Because those dreams are definitely important. I'm not quite sure how or why or what, is going on there exactly, but they're definitely going to come into play. But anyway, a strong return to Chojin. It's very much sort of a setup for whatever's going to happen next. It's one part setup, still one part denouement to the last arc, because we still don't really know what's coming next in the aftermath of that fight, as Azuma seems to be setting on a new path, at least temporarily. Again, keeperdom is very complicated, but also, given that Azuma is being observed by the pharmacist, that's sort of in contrast to being a keeper. That's anti-keeper. So, that's an interesting thing to watch out for as well. How do these divisions of good and evil gel with the reality of life being complicated? Sort of the thing that this series seems to be exploring. And that continues to be the case here. With Azuma, this, complicated mix of emotions. I don't know. Now I'm thinking of self-control as... I think I might have brought this up before. Self-control may be the opposite of what Azuma needs. Azuma needs to be able to address his feelings forthrightly, not to stomp them all down until he has control of them. Only through expressing those emotions and handling them maturely can he actually grow, not controlling them so they don't exist anymore. I don't know. Things to consider as this series goes forward. I've been saying this a lot for the past 14 months since the series started, but it very much is in its early stages. And a lot of this is sort of grasping at what I think the metaphors are going to be, what I think the themes are going to be. I'm pretty confident about the black and white morality thing being a big theme. But I also could be wrong, I suppose. But yeah, other things going on here. Ricardo's alive! My love is alive! I love that man. He's so good. We might get another Terror Time. Chandra's back into play. Going on a beast hunt. Which is interesting, because I had assumed the pharmacist and Chandra were separate factions of the same organization. I think that had kind of been implied before. But something about the beast hunt makes Chandra willing to work with the pharmacist. I'm curious what the deal is there. But yeah, I'm mostly interested in, that last scene is the one I'm really interested in. The bit with the dream, the you should become a keeper, what the balloon imagery is going for. I'm going to be sticking with the balloon imagery for a while. It's going to be this chapter's beach scene that I just keep coming back to. I'm not sure what's going on there, but it's definitely important. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of anything else to say, because I feel like I haven't quite reached a central point in the retrospective of the review, my central thoughts, whatever the core of my thoughts on this chapter are. I don't know. It's really good. And I'm excited to see where all of these loose little threads develop. But for now, we just sort of have to wait and see, which is always the problem with Chojin, because Chojin goes on forever, or the waits are indeterminate. So, we'll just wait, and I'm going to leave this video off here. I hope you'll enjoy the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, do whatever makes you happy, And as always, your life is your own, okay? Bye!